It's just before 8 in the morning and I'm at the car park at the Queen Elizabeth Country Park, just about to start the Staunton Way, which goes down to the Staunton Country Park in a sort of long loop. It's 21 miles long. We've had some really hot weather, we had some rain overnight, so hopefully today will be a little bit kinder to me. Yeah, it's going to cost me £9 to park here for the day, but that's okay. It should take me about 7 hours. There we go, the start of the Staunton Way. It's just behind the cafe, and there's a water point for the South Downs Way. About a month's time I'm doing the South Downs Way, so it's good to know that there's a water point there. But yeah, good to be out walking. Seems very pleasant. As you can see, there's lots of other routes around in this park, so it's a good place to come for a walk. And there you go, that's the first sign for it I've seen. We're also on the South Downs Way at a junction with something called the Hangers Way, which is 21 miles long, has me intrigued for the future. But the first part of this walk or way is on these, what I would call as timber tracks. But there's nice benches, lots of nice trees. The views are quite far-reaching, but I'm guessing they'd be more far-reaching if there wasn't a heat haze or a mist or whatever that is. I don't think there's any doubt that this is an actively managed woodland area. There's been some active management fairly recently. The stones on the track have now changed, well, they've disappeared, and I much prefer this because my trail runners do tend to get spiked by the stones. Just been having a bit of a quandary because this sign is saying I need to go down there, but my GPS says I need to go that way, and I've been staring at it for a few minutes, and then I realised something. This has just been propped up, so it should be pointing that way. There we go. Until the next joker goes and moves it, at least it's pointing in the right direction. I'm glad there's a little bit of cloud cover, because the last few days it's been blisteringly hot, and yeah. There's a windmill up on the hill over there. It's lovely out here this morning. I've not reduced the volume. That is just how quiet it is, to be honest. It's really peaceful this morning. Really making me look forward to the South Downs Way now. I use the GPX from the Long Distance Walkers Association. I'll put a link in the description below. I'm also submitting back to them any changes that need to be made to these GPXs, because they're conducting an audit of all of their files at the moment. So, coming through the very pretty village of Carlton, which is a very nice thatch pub called the Red Lion. You come up through this gateway to the church at Carlton. Very pretty. Sun's just come out. That's another view of the pub. So the views are getting better and the temperature's getting hotter. But the path is still very clear, as you can see. Basically, the Staunton Way goes down one side of a railway line, gets to Staunton Park, turns around and comes back up on the other side. The advantage of this is you don't have to do the whole thing. There are multiple points where you could jump across and pick up the path coming back up. I have promised my wife if it gets too hot today, that's what I'm going to do. I do like that little footpath sign. All of the styles so far have been these kissing gate type. Down in the valley we have Finchdean, which you walk through, which is a little over 5 miles into the walk. Yeah, coming up out of Finchdean you go up this lane which is called Wellworthy Lane. It's quite steep on a hot day. And I've already seen about 6 cars. Luckily you're not on it for overly long before you head down this bridleway. The walking changes here, just dropping down into a place called Great Wellsworthy, and from here until the turning round point at 9 miles it's sort of an intermittent road, housing and rec ground walk, so that's probably a couple of miles of that. So let's see how this works out. Well, I think I can say without fear of contradiction that Great Wellsworth is a very affluent area. Signage has been great. I don't think you actually need the GPX, to be honest. If you've just got a map you could do this walk so far. I'm not entirely surprised that Great Wellsworthy has a golf course. I was a little bit surprised when I discovered myself walking across the fairway with somebody just about to tee off. Be a bit canny when you're coming across here. What is better than seeing a fine example of cattle beside the path? But seeing a little baby one. You are cute. Well, I got that wrong. The road walking at Wellworthy, Great Wellworthy, Wellsworthy, one of those, it was about a mile in the end, and it was really easy. I was asked what on earth I was doing on such a hot day walking by a couple of people. Now back out into countryside. Done about 8 miles, got another mile to go, and then the route takes a left-hand turn and starts heading back up towards Queen Elizabeth Country Park. I really should learn to keep my mouth shut about the accuracy of GPXs and OS maps, because just after Great Wellsworthy something goes very wrong. The GPX and OS go one way and the signage go another. I am following the signage and I know I'm on the right track because there's the sign. Lovely place to have lunch, which is what I've just done, before starting on another little bit of road walking. All refreshed. Yeah, we come out of the park and we turn left to cross over the B2148. You go through an underpass, which is nice and safe. The signage didn't actually point specifically down the underpass, but that's where you needed to go. Right, I've left the housing estate now, which I think was called West Lee by the time I finished. And we're heading out on Prospect Lane, which seems to be populated on either side by equestrian facilities, and the hedges seem to be a last resting place for Costa cans, beer cans and crisp packets. And there's some chickens. Walking back up, come back to Great Wellsworthy and the village green, which is just as pleasant as the other houses that I saw. It's understandable why Great Wellsworthy is so affluent. It's got this just on its doorstep. I don't suppose having a railway station hurts either. About 11 miles in now, 10 miles to go. Sun's gone, humidity up, but it's a lovely walk. It really is a lovely views. Signage has been absolutely excellent. Massive field, loads of space. So where do they go and stop? Right on the path, at the bit I've got to go through. Cows with carts. Right, I'm going up here. Right, you stay down, you win. I'm just videoing in case you decide to kill me. Eagerness to get past you. I appear to have missed my turning. That's what happens when you are not concentrating. Seem to have been walking on that slope for probably a couple of miles now. And after a while, it doesn't have to play havoc with your ankle. This is lovely little copse, this one. Yeah, most welcome shade. It doesn't appear to have a name. I will call you Welcome Copse. With any circular walk, there's always a compromise somewhere along the line, where you just need to use a road to get from a point to another point to get back on the path. This is one of them. There isn't a great deal of space to jump off the road, but thankfully we're not on it for very long. 50 yards, something like that. And I'm looking for a turning on the left to get me off. The footpath is clearly marked up beside Dunmere House and Weaver House. And then you're back onto this again, so it wasn't too bad at all. Is it just the heat, or is this confusing? Because that seems to say go that way. And on this side it's saying either go the way I've just come or go right. Very confused. I'm going to go this way because this is the way my GPX says. It's very humid. It's very dry. Started raining a minute ago. I was very hopeful. 4 drops later it all stopped. Well, it looks like I chose the right route because the signs were where I expected them to be. And also somebody's planted an avenue of trees to mark my way. The first stile at about 14 miles. I could avoid it by walking up there and walking round, but I can't be bothered. Going through Markwell's Wood, there's some really old trees, some old yew, very characterful. There's been a lot of work on taking out ash, so I wonder if there's been some ash dieback or something. But this path seems to have been here forever, and there's obviously signs of old quarry works when they were probably digging out the chalk. Lots of history here, and it's still being worked in one way or another. That ridge was where I was earlier. Just dropped into this lovely old track, Huxwood Lane. If anyone knows what those are, apart from mushrooms, I would be very grateful. I'm also very grateful for the shade here at the moment. Once upon a time that was somebody's pride and joy. I'm not going to lie, up to 16 miles in Woodcroft Farm, a bit of road walking. And the temperature is going up a lot. It's very humid. It's turning into a bit of a challenge, I have to say. I know I've got enough water, I know I've got enough food, and I know I've got enough time. You hear that? That was thunder. If that actually arrives, I'm not putting on my waterproofs, and I'm just going to enjoy it. I can't say I know much about Ditcham Park School, but I think it might be a private school. About 3 miles to go now. Look at that view. There's some sort of velociraptor up in the sky there. It's absolutely lovely. I can't recommend doing the Staunton Way during a heat wave, especially one that's had temperatures up in the 30s. There isn't a lot of places to get water, apart from at Queen Elizabeth Country Park right at the beginning or the end. I've carried 4.5 litres and I think I've drunk quite a lot of it so far. It's a lovely walk. The signage is great. The marking on the OS map is not good. In fact, I don't think it actually exists. When you come back from Staunton Country Park back up, the route I'm taking is not marked on the OS map. And it is, I mean, it's the way marks are there, so the little signs are there and they're very good. But you would need to know where you're walking, so I'll put a link to the Staunton website, Staunton Way website. Now we're on this lovely woodland path. It's because it doesn't have the stones and I'm not making the noise that I have been. Just managed to get a glimpse of a fox before it spotted me. Lovely to see. Just coming back into Queen Elizabeth Country Park now. The colours over there are wonderful. This path is well shaded and it's lovely. Got a bit under 3 miles to go now. Yeah. Starting to see more people now, as people are obviously coming out from Queen Elizabeth Country Park for walks. It's obviously a very popular area, I can understand why. Really enjoyed it, I would recommend it. There is a website, I believe, I'll put that down below, and that gives you alternative routes, so you don't have to do the whole thing. That website would be useful because, as I say, the Ordnance Survey is not reliable on the whole path. It seems to do down to Staunton, but it doesn't do the route back, so you need to know where you're going. Yeah, I'm just going to walk back to the cafe at the country park now and use their water type because my water's got warm. If you like this video, please say you like down below, comment, subscribe. Next week I'm doing the first part of the test way, which is actually an overnighter, and that will be my last walk prior to doing the South Downs Way 2 weeks after that. Giving myself a week off before doing the 5-6 days of the South Downs Way. So yeah, you can avoid climbing up ben and bushes by taking the lower path, which is an alternative one, marked on the OS map as South Downs Way. But the view through the trees up here, the colours, really do make it worthwhile. And imagine in the autumn when when the leaves are changing colour, this will look spectacular. So having gone up the hill, I'm coming down the hill. I think when I do the South Downs Way with a heavier pack, I might take the lower one on the basis I've already done this path. This is quite tricky on the knees. All looking very familiar now. This is the path that I started on 7.5 hours ago. Good. Back at the car park. Oh, what a joy. Until next time, stay safe.